hadn't even posted my video from this afternoon yet. You know, this is the first day in, seems like forever, but it was definitely 5-6 days I got to catch my breath. Take a look at, didn't really catch my breath because I found myself looking at sales catalogs. But took a look at some sales catalogs. We had, obviously, Path of Totality, Compass Rose DC, and today we had Voyage of Ice and Fire at the fair, which was a bit of a debacle. And then we had Tanzanite Tricks in. And then we got a host of others along with 3 Point Blue Chip in tonight at Mohawk. Man, oh man. So I left, so on my way back to Northfield, to the Northfield area from the Meadows, there's a restaurant I really like called Firebirds. And it's on the way. So I went in just by myself, sat at the bar, had supper, waited for 3 Point Blue Chip to start. The Blue Jays are playing here in a second. So I'm pretty excited, right? The weather's nice, and, you know, I'll circle back to exactly why I was so excited. Path of Totality raced great. You know, you guys know we've been very, very cautious with her the last 3 weeks, and she finished up strong. No blood, no nothing. She looked awesome. So great job by Jason, who prepared this filly for the race. Tim's guys for getting her ready to go and racing her. She was awesome. Now, I didn't win. There's no stake checks in the mail, but she was a closing in fourth, and you could tell, you know, if we got a better crack at them earlier, I think we get there. Definitely second. Now, Compass Rose DC was flat. She's coming back to Northfield Park. I don't really know what's up with her. Tim said her blood was better, but she certainly raced poor. She went by me starting into the backstretch with the earplugs out, trying to catch up to cover. She should be running over. I mean, this affiliate I know can trot 54, 55, and when they go in 57 and she's lost, something is amiss. So we'll get her back to Northfield Park and get a look under the hood and see what's going on with her. And then Tanzanite Tricks, man, oh man, I post-sprayed Tanzanite Tricks, and I can see. So the strap for the hobbles. So you have the hobbles, the apparatus. You have the loops, the ropes, the pulley, the band, the strap that holds the hobbles on the horse's belly. That's different from the harness. And then you have a strap back to the bike for the back to the bike hobbles. As you can imagine, there's some snaps and some stitching. I look down as I'm post-braiding Tanzanite Tricks, and the strap stitching, so you have the snap that connects to another snap, like that. The stitching on the snap to the actual fabric is pulling away. I'm not gonna race her like that. I wheel her around and go back to the paddock and said, hey, the stitching's starting to let go on these hobbles, guys. Tim ran up to the barn, got another set of hobbles. We put a totally different set of hobbles on her. Now she's jogged 3 laps nice and quiet to keep her quiet. She hasn't even post-braided. I didn't even get to the tote board now, back to the paddock. Now they're waiting on us. Race is ready to go. So I go out in the track. I let her rock a little bit down around the turn over to the front of the grandstand. Turn her into the gate. Now, there's 2 horses to beat in there. The 2 horse can cause me some problems when I'm looking at the program. The 2 horse can cause me some problems. He can leave. The 1 and the 3 are the ones to beat. I'm the 6, short field, a 7 or 8. 3 scratched. So now, in my mind, I'd like to leave. I think maybe Aaron would let me go and remove. If not, I might have to settle for the 3-hole, or I might be able to drive right into the 2-hole. I let her trot right out of there, and an old familiar face comes plotting out of the gate. Old, that's my girl. And crosses over to the front. Now Mike's waiting on me, and she almost made a break going into the first turn. I don't know if it was the hobbles, the length, or what, but she got out of gear going into the first turn. But I wasn't really rushing with her. I know that's my girl. He's not going to park me. So I get to the front with her, and I know how Aaron thinks. I know, Aaron's a smart driver, wins a lot of races. He's going to wait for the dust to settle and come. As soon as I get to the front, I just let her trot forward. I'm gonna let him go, but I'm not gonna give it to him, right? He's gonna have to earn it. I let her trot forward. We come out of the quarter in 28-1, 28-2, something like that. And I hear a horse coming. I don't even have to look. I would bet any one of my 10 fingers or toes I know exactly who it is. It's Aaron. So as we come out of the turn, I can hear old soft feet in behind me run. That's my girl's on the run. I look over. Aaron's on the run too. So now the first favorite's on the run. The one to beat, and he's on the run. The other one's scratched. I don't envision a way that I can get beat. I look up at the TV as I'm coming to the 3/8. I can't lose. Right? I just don't think I can lose. Now, the only thing is, I don't want to go too slow to the half and let somebody that shouldn't beat me into the race. I'm going a mile 56 and a piece, 57. If you can beat me, come and beat me. And that's pretty much how it was. Half and 58 and a piece rolls up. I just let her trot down the backstretch. She did get a little bumpy in the turns, which before she trotted the turns great, got bumpy in the straightaways. So, a little transition for old Trixie. We come out of the last turn. I wasn't going to pop the earplugs. I heard a couple coming. I said, all right, don't get too cocky. I kicked the earplugs, tapped her on the tail. She drove away. She's a winner. So I'm pumped. I leave the track. I go up and see a couple of horses at Tim's barn. I want to check in and see how they were doing, see how they looked. Steve Palermo had sent a horse there. We had a number of horses there. So I went up, they had a look at the horses. They all look great, as expected, Tim's barn. I head down the road to Firebirds. Now I know I want to do 3 things tonight. First one is watch 3 Point Blue Chip hopefully win convincingly. And this is a horse, I'll talk about it in a minute. 2, watch the Blue Jays. And 3, finish looking at some of the sale catalogs. So it's 7:29. I'll be home at 8:30. But I still got a full night ahead of me of what I want to do. So I'm going down the road to Starbucks, get a drink on the way home. My wife has turned me into a Starbucks pig, but whatever. So I'm going down the road. 3 Point comes on. Man, James gave me such a good drive. So smart too. You know, he's just turned into such a smart driver on the track. He does things on the track that world-class drivers do. Just little things. Little things that you may not notice, right? Phil Houdon makes front with a horse that's 4-1. Probably a beatable horse. Bob McClure's leaving into him, and they know that Phil can gas him a little bit sometimes. Like, Phil might stretch him. He might make Bob work too hard to get to the front. So James just lets him drop it in front of him. Leave the vulnerable one on the front. Leave the one that's going to be tough to beat right there in front of you so he's not going anywhere. And I know exactly what he did. Just an extremely intelligent drive. Just little things like that. You know, you see the improvement in the growth and maturity of James as a driver. It's like watching my brother Mark make his way up the ranks again. It really is something to watch. So James lets him in the 2-hole around the last turn. I know that this is the trip 3 Point Blue Chip loves. Now we know 3 Point Blue Chip in the past has we've been very careful with him. Remember, I've told you a million times how mentally immature he was. When his knees get sore, he did not train good. So we were very careful. You know, 1, we worked on his feet. He wears razor pads up front. He's got hobbles on. 2, if his knees get sore, we had the vet come in and inject them or shock them or both. This was all summer long. We knew his triggers were his trigger was his knees. When his knees were hurting him, he was terrible to train. So the key was let his knees mature, cool out, and maintain them as we prepare him for the races. This horse was ready, speed-wise, to go end of June. But he wasn't ready, and I kept telling you that. Just give us time, give us time, give us time. And, you know, everybody played such a major role, and the one person that never gets enough credit when it comes to horses, my wife. My wife took care of this horse all summer. She jogged him every day. There were lots of times she trained him. I didn't go with him. She did. The other day I had a video clip of her and White Tiger. White Tiger and 3 Point Blue Chip trained together the other day. James had White Tiger and Amy had 3 Point Blue Chip in the race bike. She has gone with this horse all summer long and has grown very attached to him. And he's a likable horse. This is a horse that was very stutty and rude. And I fought back a lot of people begging me to geld him, and I couldn't. This Plunge Blue Chip's brother, we gave $115,000 for him. For the love of God, I don't want to geld him just yet. And then right in the middle of the summer, his knees started to get good. He started training real good. Schooled him. I don't think he was even defeated ever in a schooler behind the gate. He was so good. I sent him over to the Meadows with Amy one day. Amy took him over, warmed him up with Tim. And Mike Wilder went with him. Mike Wilder told me how much he liked him, how nice he was to deal with. You just had to watch him. You can't strike him with the whip. He will not take it. He doesn't like being hit with the whip. You can roar at him. Don't startle him. Just let him do his work, and James knows that. James cut him loose halfway down the lane, but that's what he'll do now. He's starting to get that killer instinct that he had never had in his entire life. This horse had never wanted to annihilate horses ever in his entire life. Go back and look at his training sets. January, February, March, April, May. He could have been a horrible animal. He could be any kind of horse, but we didn't know. And I was very, very protective of this horse. Not because he was 3-point blue chip, but just because there was something there. I just couldn't put my finger on it, but there was something there, and it wasn't ready. He was not ready to do what we needed him to do. For the first time in my life, I just stopped. I just said, no, I'm not going to qualify him. I'm just going to wait. And I did. And man, oh man, like, he didn't win the Breeders' Crown in the Hamiltonian tonight, but you could see what we purchased tonight. This is this horse's second lifetime start. He trained in 2-2 the other day. He shows, what, 58, 59, something? 56 and 3, and he was a steamroller down the lane. This could be any kind of cool. So I am super, super excited about 3-point blue chip, and very, very pleased with what I saw. One, from the way James handled him, and obviously the way Amy is taking care of this horse all year long. She loves him. She takes very, very good care of him. You know, the one thing many of you don't know about my wife, she might be my wife. She is an incredible caretaker, and she did a great job with 3-point blue chip. So, very pleased. We still got a couple more to go. Man, oh man, what kind of summer have we had? Tanzanite Trick's a winner today. Path of Totality looked like she was on her way back to where we needed her to be. It was a rocky couple of weeks there for us in her month, but looks like we got her on the right direction. We'll get Compass Rose DC patched up and on the move. That is not Compass Rose DC. She's a better horse than that, much better horse than that. In fact, one might argue she's a better horse than Path of Totality, but that wasn't her today. So we'll figure it out. It happens. It's not the first time she's been in a funk, and it won't be the last. It might be the last, because we're thinking of breeding her this winter. So we'll get her patched up and rocking and rolling again. Tanzanite Tricks look great on the march forward. Very, very pleased with Tanzanite Tricks. So again, just a fantastic day. Here's to our crew, our group. Couldn't be more proud of the summer we've had. It has been some kind of ride. So thank you all again as we head into sales season. Thank you all again for your confidence in us and in me, and providing us the opportunity to do some good for everybody on the track. So that is it. I know we get a couple more. Just sit down and watch them. It's going to be a great night, I'm sure. Very, very pumped about today. I guess another day in paradise. Take care.